Hello and welcome to another episode of Mole Thoughts. My name is ChaosMole, and today we will take a look at the early access version of Farlanders, which, well, just got into early access. And I had a live stream about the game, which you can also find here on the channel if you want to watch the whole thing, which is going for multiple hours, just a fair warning. And I want to give you my first thoughts on the game. A few notes before we are jumping into this. I'm not reviewing early access games. I never really do that, but I give you my first honest thoughts on how I feel about the game now that I have played it for a few hours. This is not a complete list. There might be some things missing, something I might have not gotten to, which really changes the feel of the game, right? Like, this is just here are my thoughts after a few hours of gameplay. Do with them as you will, or ignore them, right? So as I said, this is Farlanders. It's in early access now, so there are still a few features missing, like the sandbox mode. There's a free play where you can just choose some missions. You can just play however you like. Or there is also the main campaign where they are telling you exactly with goals and whatnot what you have to do. And Farlanders is a very interesting game because it tries to be a puzzle game, but it also tries to be a city builder game. And it sometimes collide with each other. Like, a lot of the things sometimes at some point collide. And if you're like, huh, what's that supposed to be? Well, it's pretty simple. Like, as I said, this is a turn-based game. So you have a certain amount of resources for that turn. Then you are hitting next turn, you're getting those resources again, things are happening on the map, and you are working towards a certain goal. And I think it starts with mission 3. Yeah, with mission 3, they will put a timer on you. They will tell you, hey, you have 30 rounds to reach this goal. Do you have to do that? No. You can ignore the timer, you can continue without the timer, but it will give you more XP for your character. Unfortunately, I couldn't figure out what it means to have XP besides of your title is changing and your star rating is changing. But it seems like it doesn't do anything gameplay-wise, at least not yet. So maybe later on, there will be a good reason why you definitely want to get those extra XP from being in the time limit. But there is a time limit. You can ignore it if you want to. But if you are actually acknowledging that time limit and you are utilizing it, then you will be put in a very different gameplay scenario. Like, without a time limit, you play the game like a city management or a city builder game on a tile on Mars, right? It's not very big. You have limited resources, you have limited room to actually build your city. So if you are thinking about building a sprawling city like in City Skylines, SimCity or something like that, this is not going to happen here, right? But if you decide to go with the timer, you will play it as a puzzle game, because every round you have to think about, how do I want to utilize my resources? Where do I want to go with this? What is the next area I want to open up? What I want to build there? Like, you do a lot of thinking and preparing for the next few rounds. And the third mission, we actually finished on turn 29 out of 30. Like, right on the buzzer. It was kind of nail-biting. Like, I was really sitting here and was like, oh my god, I hope there's not another mission objective afterwards, or oh, I hope I have enough resources for this. Like, I tried to prepare for that moment because I knew that I will have the necessary components in round 29, but I wasn't sure if it will be enough. And again, that makes the game also kind of fun, but it is a very, very different play style. Now, the one thing I do want to point out is the terraforming. So you can see it here in the video, which I'm playing. In the bottom right, you see certain events crawling up on you. There is more people coming in, right? When you have enough buildings for that, of course. And then you see a small logo, which is like in 4 turns, I'm getting my first terraforming. So what is that supposed to mean? That means that after 4 turns, I will get a set of terraforming, and then I can just choose whatever area I want to terraform, right? And the problem with that is that unfortunately it is random. So the game is very random when it comes to what kind of terraforming it gives you. And I had already rounds where I didn't get the terraforming I really needed at that point. And I was just sitting there for rounds and rounds and rounds without getting the right terraforming. And it was terrifying, excuse the pun here, and it was kind of annoying. Because if you were starting just to sit multiple rounds and waste multiple rounds because you're waiting for the right terraforming to appear, because it's completely random on what you are getting, it gets a bit annoying. Yes, there's a research tree. And yes, it will allow you later on to research buildings, which will give you the ability to terraform specific fields. There are still enough of those things where you have to just wait for the whole terraforming to occur. But I think the biggest point of this game is the next round. You really have to think about what does the next round do for you, which resources you are getting, and then you slowly have to start out your city. By the way, you will see me here in a second just using the terraforming. You can see it there on the right corner now. As I said, it's completely random, and it's a bit annoying. It's a bit annoying, and you really have to plan far ahead to calculate where you want to build, how you want to utilize it, and hopefully getting the right terraforming at the right time, right? So that's really important, and that's something you cannot really control, at least not at the beginning. And then when you have slowly learned how to keep your colonists happy, how you are keeping your facilities running, then the game does something kind of crazy. It starts to unlock more and more stuff, which makes things so much harder. The 4th mission, for an example, is opening up the layer. You can see it in the bottom left corner on the screen. If you're looking down there, you see some gray arrows and a 0. And on the missions you can actually swap to the underground layer. So now you're not just building your whole colony on the 1st floor, you are actually going down. And this is where it becomes really complicated. So if you are somebody who really likes to think about the game, to plan ahead, and you can already visualize how your little colony or Mars will look like, then I think this game will be a lot of fun for you. If you are somebody like me who likes to build stuff, sees how that works out, then reacts to it, and then slowly but surely build out the city, this game is not really supporting that. And I had some serious problems with that. Speaking of serious problems, the game is starting out with some tutorials, but then it sometimes also forgets to explain to you how you can actually utilize a building or what certain items do. It's just a small thing. It's not like it doesn't give you any information whatsoever. It really tries to give you all the information you need. But there are sometimes some things you have to figure out for yourself, like which buildings get upgraded even if you already build it on a resource. Like one of the things we tested out is the upgrade of the resource when there is already a factory. I don't know if it is a bug or not, but you basically had to remove the factory and then upgrade the the minerals underneath the factory, and then you could build the factory again. It's not really a big deal because you're getting back 100% of your resources, so you're not wasting anything, but it felt a bit weird. Also, what the game is not telling you is when you were clicking on a mineral deposit, I didn't know for 3 long missions that the mineral deposits are slowly getting depleted. The game hasn't told me that. I thought it was an infinite amount of resource. It's not. It really isn't. So the interface also feels a bit mobile-esque, with a few things here and there, but it's totally functional. It doesn't feel bad. It just feels mobile-esque. I don't really have anything against that. But I know that some people do. So what is my thoughts on this game? As I said, if you are somebody who loves building and management games, mostly building games, where you are just planning ahead, multiple rounds, like you are not somebody who just sees what happens, you just plan and you build everything in your head, I think this game could be really cool for you. Keep in mind there is still no sandbox mode, so if you're hoping for that, you have to wait a little bit longer. I think it's coming with the first update of Early Access, if I saw the roadmap right. So keep that in mind. But if you like to plan out stuff, this game is for you. If you like puzzle elements, this game is for you. If you just want to build a sprawling city and you want to see where it goes, this game is not for you. Or probably not. I personally had to say, this game is not for me. It didn't captivate me really. I don't know what it was. Like, I think the turn-based stuff made it feel a little bit weird. And what I would have loved to see is just to put a timer in. If they really want to give you a timer, right, just make it a timer or something. But I can see that people will enjoy this game. Yeah, this is not one of those games where I have to say, oh no, this is clearly early access. Don't touch this. Stay away from it. No, if you're looking for a very specific city builder game where you have to think ahead quite a bit, and you really have to think about all the upgrades of the buildings, that you can go between different levels, and the goals you have to achieve, the terraforming. Like, there is so much to consider that, at least for me, it sometimes made my head spin. And if you all love that kind of stuff, this game is for you. And I would say there's already a good amount of content for the price tag in the game. It's $11 right now, and you will find hours and hours of enjoyment out of this game. And then, of course, there will be more content down the line. But if you hope that this is just a standard city builder, it's not. It's not. And also, there is no fighting or anything. I saw some people, because of the graphics, comparing it a little bit to Factorio. It's not. It's really just a city builder game. Or, well, a puzzle game hide underneath a city builder aspect. But again, there's a lot of content already here. And if you're just ignoring the weird meta story they put in there, it's super weird, you will probably have hours of fun in this game. But again, if all the things you just heard doesn't really speak to you, then stay away from the game right now, or stay away from the game. And if this piqued your interest, again, the game is available on Steam right now for, I think, $12, and you can get it right there. With that said, those were just my first thoughts on the game. Do with them as you will. And if you enjoyed what I had to say, then please don't forget to like and to subscribe if you want to see more reviews and just let's plays on upcoming city builders and management games here on Mole Under Management. And again, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. And I hope to see you next time.